Okay, we're live. Hi, everybody. I am Michelle Solis from This Must Be Ink, and I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator from Seekonk, Massachusetts. Welcome to my Friday night Stamp and Sip Live. I don't know if anybody that's watching can tell where I am. I'm not home. So if you know where I am, or you want to take a guess, you type it in. Let me know if you think you can tell where I am tonight. Um, okay, so tonight we were going to be working with the basic border dies, and I was going to make a couple of fun fold. Well, I'm going to make one fun fold card, and then we're going to talk about the other ones that I created using these dies. So these dies are retiring, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to showcase them. In case anybody decides that they need to have them, you need to buy them quick. Okay, so we are going to, I'm all out of sorts tonight. I don't know where I am. Okay, hang on, let's make this spotlight. There we go. Okay, so the one that we're going to make tonight is this gatefold. And then I was just going to show you guys these others that I created, which is, I guess this is like a top flap card. Say that 3 times fast. Okay, we're going to put this one aside for the moment, and let's talk about this one. This was the one that we're going to make. So this is a gatefold with a belly band to keep it closed. And it's a typical gatefold, except for the fact that I cut this design out of these flaps with the basic border die. So it made it a nice fancy edging here. Okay, and then I just put my plain white inside. Okay, so we'll also talk about how to make the belly band. So this was created with the Dainty Delight set, which is also retiring. And then I did the Sentiment with the Sweetly scripted stamp set, which is carrying over to the new catalog. So I love this. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the card. We are going to use a piece of cardstock for our card base that is 8.5 by 5.5. And then we're going to score it at 2 1/8 inches from each end. So what I did was scored it at 2 1/8, and then I flipped it around and scored it at 2 1/8 again. So that is going to make this gatefold card. And then what you're going to do is put your white in here, but we're going to cut this out, cut these edges with the basic border dies. So the way that I got this even is with a pencil. You're going to line this up. This is 5.5. So 2 3/4 is going to be the midpoint here. Sorry, I can't see that on the thing. I just made a little tick mark at midpoint here at 2 3/4. And then what I'm going to do is line up my border die and center it. So what I did was I counted these little bumps. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 on this side, and that'll make 8 on the other side. So I lined that up. 2, 4, 6, 8. So you want your little line to be right in between those little bumps. And then I stuck that down with a little piece of tacky tape. This is an Artist's low tack tape. You can use, I think you can get a Post-it note tape as well. And you're just going to tape that down, and then we're going to run that through our embossing machine. So we're going to bring this over here. So for those of you who have not yet guessed, I am in Warner, New Hampshire at Lorraine Tierney's house in the Tierney studio down here. So things are a little foreign to me. I have to get used to where I am here. Okay, so the one thing I want to bring to your attention is these dies are about the same width as your embossing machine. So you want to make sure that when you're putting them here on your plate, that you are lining them up so they're not overlapping the edge of your plate, so that you don't bend them when they go through the machine. Okay, and then you just want to feed them through. Maybe. Hang on. Lorraine, do I have too many plates in here? Oh, wait. I got it. Oh, there we go. Okay. I got one side. I'm not used to winding with that hand. Okay, and then we're going to flip it around and do the same thing. Let's make our little mark here, 2 3/4 inches. And then again, we will line up our die. Okay, so we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So that wants to go right there. And just line it up to the edge as well as can be. I'm trying to get it as close to the edge as possible because a gatefold should meet in the middle. All right, so we're going to bring our, let's wind this. Oh, okay. Get this back on here with our plate. There we go. This is squeaky. Lorraine has been saying it's been squeaky, and it is squeaky. All right, so then we're going to take that. Okay, so what we should come out with is a piece that looks like this. Meets in the middle with this fold. So we're going to put our, we've got a piece of basic white that is going to go in the middle. That's 4 1/4 by 5, right? No, 5 1/4, 5 1/4 by 4. Oh boy. Okay. Now, get that on the inside. Just leaving a border around all edges. And that is the card. Then what we're going to do is create a belly band. So the belly band is 8 1/2 by, I think I made this one 1 inch. The original one that I made was, I think, 3/4 of an inch. But I did an inch this time. And we scored it at 2 1/2. So I've got it scored at 2 1/2 here to come around. And then what I do is I don't score the other side. I bring it around and just fold it over and press it down. And then you can score this with your bone folder when you've got it measured, because you don't want this to be too tight. You want this to be able to slide up and down. So you can see there's a little bit of a gap. And mine is not quite in the middle, but I don't think it's going to matter. And what you're going to do is we're going to create this shape. I've used the hexagon Lorraine, I forgot the name of it. Heartfelt hexagon shape for my belly band. So we're going to layer this up. You can see I did the card base color first and then the accent color. So we're going to this time do the bubble bath as the background. And what I did was I cut this in half. And then put that behind on the top and on the bottom. So we're going to add a little bit of glue here and line this up. So you can see a bit of the bubble bath coming out. And then we're going to put some glue on this side and put this on the bottom. So you get a little bit of that accent color showing. There we go. Okay. So I covered my belly band with some designer series paper, which I forgot to bring over here with me. This was the Poetic Expression. Thank you. Good thing I have an assistant tonight. This is the Poetic Expressions paper. And I used this piece that was Moody Mauve with a little bit of bubble bath. I'm going to lay that onto my belly band here. And since my belly band was 1 inch wide, I've cut this paper at 3/4 of an inch by 8.5. Okay. And then I'm going to add my shape here. We're just going to put a little bit of glue on either side of the belly band and line up our, if we can get it straight here, line up our shape there. There we go. Okay. So the other piece that I created for the front is from the Dainty Delight set, and this was this stamp of the large flowers, and I just colored those with some Stampin' Blends. This was a dark bubble bath, I believe I used for the flowers. And I made them all one color, just to keep it simple. I think sometimes we just make coloring too hard. So I just did all of the flowers in the bubble bath, and the interior of the flower, I did the Moody Mauve. Hi, Fat Boy. I think he just knows when people are live, Lorraine. He wants to be part of the show. And so this is a Light Lost Lagoon that I used for the leaves. And I just put a little bit of color into each one with the Lost Lagoon. And then shaded them with some shaded spruce. So this is a light shaded spruce. And I just went back to give them a little bit of an accent with the shaded spruce. Okay, so that is how I came up with this. By magic of TV, I have one that I've created for us, so you don't have to watch me color the whole thing. And we're going to just place that here on the front of our belly band. So we'll just get some glue in the middle. And that's going to layer right here. And then for the sentiment, I used the Sweetly Scripted stamp with the happy birthday. But because it was too long to go completely over my belly band, what I did was stamped it and then cut off the little tails at either end to layer it here because I really wanted it to just go on my label. Now that I'm looking at it, I probably could have gone a little bit further, but this is where we are for the moment. We're going to just put it on our little label. Like that. Yeah, maybe I should have left the little tails. Oh, you know why I didn't leave the little tails? Because they're so skinny. And I was thinking, well, how would I get a dimensional under there? So this is why I cut them off. I knew there was a reason. All right, so then this should fit right around your card, like that. So you will come up with a card with a beautiful ornamental front, and then when they take that off, you will open the card and see your sentiment inside. So there you go. There's those two. What do you think, Fat Boy? Do you like it? Okay, so that's those two. Now we're going to talk about this top flap card. This one was, this measures 4 1/4 by 11. So you're going to have a long piece here. Oops, hang on, goes from here to here. So this is going to be 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So how did we make this extra flap? This is a 3 1/2 by 4 1/4 piece that I scored at 1/2 inch. And I glued it on the back, that little 1/2 inch flap, glued across the back. And that became my flap that flips forward. Then I used the border die, this fancy one, to cut the the die cut here. And then what I did here is I took the piece that I cut off, I glued up on the top, and that made this almost like a diamond shape here. Then we put some ribbon, which goes across the back and then onto the front with a little knot. And then these dies are also from the Dainty Delight dies, which I didn't bring over here. But these are a nice sprig that it's actually a long sprig, and I cut it in half, made 2 little sprigs and some flowers here. So that's how we created that. This is also the Poetic Expressions paper. And then this last one I did is also a top flap card, but it's going the other way. So this is going in a landscape. So this one opens like this. Okay, and then this just kind of flaps under to hold it closed. So this one measures 5 1/2 by 11. And this is scored at 4 1/4 and 8 1/2. So this is the 4 1/4, and then you're going to score it here at 8 1/2. You'll have a bit of a flap that comes over, and depending on where you want it to end, you cut it with the dies. This one was cut with the one that looks like a little cloud, or like a cloud border here. And then I took a piece of Designer Series paper and cut it again with the cloud border and glued that onto this flap with my DSP. And then with the cloud punch, I created this one. And this cloud was cut out of the Sunny Days Designer Series paper. Both of these designs are from the Sunny Days Designer Series paper as well. And the little bunny came from Playing in the Rain set with his little umbrella. So I just fussy cut him because when you die cut this little bunny, it cuts out this puddle. So I fussy cut the puddle and the little bunny for that one. Okay, so that's it for me tonight. These are my 4 cards that I created. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing them and you will try some fun folds. These all can be done with any dies that you've got. So there's some other border dies in the catalog as well. So any border dies will work for these. And then try these top flap front cards. Oh boy. Well, I can't make this card again because I can't say it. All right. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. Let's see if I can figure out how to exit here. There we go. All right. That's it for me tonight. Thank you guys for joining. And if you're watching the replay, say hi. Let me know that you watched. And let me know if you liked the cards. So Lorraine and I are getting ready for our retreat that's happening next weekend. We're die cutting and punching all kinds of things to get ready for that, and creating some new projects that I'm sure you guys will be seeing in the next couple of weeks once we get them done with our teams next week. So that's it for me. I will see you guys. Actually, I will not see you next Friday because I will be back here with my team and my group, my workshop ladies. And we're going to be staying at an Airbnb in town, so we will not be able to do a live next week. So I'll be back in 2 weeks. Okay? You guys take care and have a wonderful weekend and stay crafty, my friends.